As you know, here on the channel, we always like looking for new small card games. So we want to take a look at S'mores Galore from Grand Gamers Guild because it looks small, quick actions, kind of a puzzly aspect to it. But let me show you how it plays after the break and then come back here and I'll tell you how I think it is. We are set up here for a two-player game of S'mores Galore. You're going to give each player a graham cracker and a player's aid. You're going to shuffle up the rest of the cards. You're going to deal a grid of cards that looks like this. You're going to put the campfire here, and you're going to put two cards out as the start of two discard piles, making sure that they are different. If they are the same, just flip over until you have different cards. You're then going to assemble your recipe stacks. You are going to grab two straight up s'mores per player. Put them in a stack. You are then going to grab 3 advanced cards per player, shuffle them up, and make stacks according to player count. 2 for a 2-player, 3 for a 3-player, 4 for a 4-player. Finally, you're going to make sure everyone has a player aid. You're going to choose a first player and give them the arrow. Then you're ready to begin. So on your turn, first thing you're going to do is you're going to move the arrow. You're going to then collect ingredients, and then you're going to take up to 2 actions. So the first player will put the arrow wherever they want. Once the arrow is out there, on your turn, it needs to move, so I cannot just leave it here. However, I could swap it over here and take this row that way. You can just take 1 card, you can take 2 cards, you can come up here, you can come down there. Either way, you're just going to have it point there. So we're going to point right here. When you collect, you're going to take them and you're going to place them in your row in the exact order they are in the grid. So then these would come down like that. You would then refill the grid, and then you would take up to 2 actions. Your actions are covered on your card. There's burn, churn, return, or score a s'more. When you burn, you're just going to discard any number of ingredients from the left, so just going this way. So just taking them, throwing them in the discard pile. That is one option. Churn, which is just swap the position of 2 adjacent ones, which is like that. You have return, which is if you have a pair of ingredients, you take them, you put them to a discard pile, slide this over, and then put 1 ingredient from the discard pile at the end. It can be from either one, and then making sure there's not 2 of the same cards on the discard pile. Finally, there's scoring a s'more. So had I churned right here, I have this. If you look at straight up s'more, it wants a graham cracker, a marshmallow, a chocolate, and a graham cracker. The marshmallow and chocolate can be in either way. I have that. When you score a s'more, you need to go from the left forward. So had the chocolate been here, I would have to burn the chocolate first before I could score the s'more. To score, you're going to grab the cards, you're going to discard them, you're going to grab the card like so. Going back to when you take the pieces. So say I had to move here, and I'm going here. Well, I don't want all of this chocolate at the beginning. So when I take it, I can either add it, or I can flip it over to a stick. Again, maybe I'll add this one, I'll flip this one over to a stick, and then I'll grab this one. You would then proceed to take your turn normal to 2 different things. After that, these 2 sticks go to the fire. Then, in a future turn, when someone makes a s'more, they are going to take these sticks to their scoring tableau as well, and they'll be worth 1 point each. You'll continue going around the table, taking turns in this way until 2 of these score piles are empty. Once that happens, every other player takes 1 final turn, grabbing the marshmallows, possibly making s'mores. If while they're doing this, the straight up s'mores are gone, they can still make a straight up s'more, and they just grab 2 sticks instead to denote the 2 points that they would get from there. You are then going to add up points based on your s'more total. You are going to get 1 point per stick, and of course, most points wins. Let's get into my thoughts on this one. So there you go. There is the basics of S'mores Galore and how you play it. So, as is typical, let's go ahead and start off with inside the box. Looking at the stuff inside the box, all the components, the cards, good quality, bright, colorful. I really enjoy the fact that the different chocolates and marshmallow and graham cards all have kind of different features, expressions, movements. So they all look unique and fun and playful. The whole wood arrow that you're moving around the board is big and chunky. They easily could have just gone with a punch board bit, but they didn't. They put this nice big chunky thing that you're going to be moving around. It feels nice. The s'mores cards themselves are laid out well. They easily decipher what they're looking for. If the chocolate and marshmallow can be interchangeable, they have the arrow, so it's easy to decipher there. They have a player's card, which sounds, well, of course they do. That's not always a given. Even when games have multiple actions, they don't always give a player's aid. So with this one, having just that little player's aid is a big help. That way you can easily look and know exactly what you can do. Even though the actions themselves are pretty simple to remember, having that visual aid there is helpful. The two-player changes isn't much. The only difference with two players is you have less piles of the S'mores cards, which work because if you had to empty out more piles, I feel like the game could go on too long. But that is the basics of the two-player change, is just the amount of S'mores cards. Moving into gameplay. Gameplay is fairly simple. As you saw, you're just going to move the little arrow. You're going to put those cards in there, possibly turning some of them into sticks, and then moving on into the next part of your turn, just those couple of actions. I will say with the gameplay, for some reason, and you saw in my teach, because I forgot to explain it when I was saying about taking the cards, is turning the cards to sticks is just something that doesn't readily click in my head. Not sure why. It's just something I always just figure, I'm like, oh, if I'm taking the cards, I'm taking the cards. I'm not going to make any sticks. Let's just go and I'll figure out the puzzle from there. So I probably could get stuff done quicker if I had remembered that, but that is just, for some reason, one aspect of the gameplay that just keeps escaping my mind, and even Bry's mind, it escapes most of the time. I think she's done it a couple of times. Also, the having to build this more from the left to the right and having it being right at the fire, that is another one that kind of sometimes falls between the cracks of a rule that we notice. There's been a couple times Brad's about to make her s'more. I'm like, nope, you gotta get rid of a card or two. But with the gameplay, what I do enjoy is that it rewards you for almost playing ahead. And it is, as I said, that puzzle aspect of, all right, I grab these cards. Now, how can I manipulate them here to get that contract or that make that s'more? And hopefully I can do it before my opponent gets it. So you really have to kind of keep an eye on, what is my opponent going for? How close are they? Do I need to pivot? Do I need to somehow try and accelerate what I'm doing? With the whole different types of actions that you can do, trying to figure out, how do I optimize that? Like, if I do take this pair out, what kind of gap does that leave, and can I easily maneuver stuff around? And then with the playing ahead is when you go ahead and take that last bit of row of the marshmallow supplies and bring them in. Are you now leaving yourself set up that you are ready to go for your next s'more, or are you going to have to do actions to get set up for that scoring as well? But overall, I do find this is a fun, quick little playing card game. It's got a nice blend of different actions you can do with the whole churn, burn, return, and then scoring a s'mores card. I think I might have kind of liked it better if you could score the s'mores card without using an action for it. I kind of just feel that might have been a little bit more action-packed and could have made you feel a little bit more productive. But overall, it didn't hinder me too much with it. As I said, fun little puzzle, trying to manipulate exactly where you have the ingredients with those actions. And so that is why overall I am going to say that it went good. I am going to give this a 7 out of 10. I am usually willing to play it. It's a fairly quick setup. As I said, fairly easy to explain, fairly easy to play, and it's just one of those ones you can go, get it done. A really good filler game that you have there. So again, 7 out of 10. So if I could please get you to head down below, and there's a few things you can find down there. First, you can find a link to the Grand Gamers Guild website if you want to purchase S'mores Galore. We do not receive any compensation for that. It's just somewhere where you can easily find it. If you're looking for another place that you might be able to find it, we have an affiliate link to Manager Market down below, where you can go ahead and click that link, and then any purchases you do, we do get a portion of those sales to come back to the channel. Other ways you can do that is by hitting like, subscribe, comment, share, and ring the bell for the channel and this video. You can go ahead and join our Patreon, hit up our Ko-fi, or join the channel by hitting the join button down below, which will give you exclusive perks such as seeing videos early or exclusive videos released just to our members. All right, so get toasty!